The long and short of it is that there is a term in Hebrew for virgin. It's Bethulah. It literally means virgin. In Isaiah, which is what is often quoted in terms of the prophecy of the virgin birth, the term in Isaiah is not Bethulah. It's not what was used. The term that was used in Isaiah is a term that means young woman or maiden. It does not strictly prescribe pregnancy. It just means young woman. And again, we have a word that strictly prescribes pregnancy, and that word was not used. This is just a fact. It doesn't mean anything other than what it means. The term that was used means young woman or maiden. The reason in some contexts it's used to mean pregnancy is because oftentimes young women are pregnant. But we have a strict word for pregnancy in Hebrew, and that would be Bethulah. The question you then have to ask yourself is, okay, so how do we get here? Why did the Gospels include a reference to Isaiah if the term pregnant wasn't being used? Well, in Isaiah, what was happening too, and this is the other bit, is that Isaiah was calming down the king. The king was freaking out because he thought they were going to be wiped out. Isaiah's like, no, all is good. God's going to bring you through this. The king kept freaking out. So Isaiah's like, look, listen, chill, bro. God's going to give you a sign. And that sign is going to be this young woman that gets translated as pregnant, but just says young woman. The other bit of this is that Isaiah is speaking in the present tense. He's not saying someday there will be a woman. How would a pregnancy, how would a birth someday help calm the king down right now? How would that be a sign for him in the immediate context of the verse? It makes no sense at all. It makes zero sense. None. I go through all of this in great detail in the video, so I highly recommend you go watch the video. If you're already privy to all this, then sure, you could comment right away and we can have the discussion. If you're not, go watch the video. It's like 7 minutes long or something. Come back, and then we can have the discussion. The moral of the story is it's problematic. Using Isaiah to validate the virgin birth is problematic. So what would your additional argument be for the virgin birth? How would you defend it if we found out for absolute fact that Isaiah was talking about a pregnant woman right then, or that Isaiah was not talking about a pregnant woman at all, whether that be now or in the future? How would you then justify the virgin birth personally? Curious. I'm curious what you guys would say. I'm also curious if we found out the virgin birth could not be justified at all. It's the product of mistranslations and wrong oral stories. What if we found that out? What then would you say? How would that affect your faith? Again, I'm genuinely curious.